You could feel the tension through the screen before a single word even landed. It was one of those moments where silence speaks louder than sound, and when Kody Brown finally opened his mouth, the jealousy poured out so thick it was impossible to ignore. In a recent Sister Wives clip, Kody took what he clearly thought was a subtle jab at David Woolley's construction career. Subtle was the last thing it came across as. Fans heard it, fans felt it, and fans immediately knew exactly what was going on. Because let's be honest for a second, the audacity of that comment only works if you ignore reality. David Woolley isn't some guy swinging a hammer for pocket change. He owns a successful construction business. He built it from the ground up. He raised 8 children on his own after unimaginable loss. He's respected, steady, and quietly accomplished. Meanwhile, Kody Brown has spent years bouncing from one half-baked idea to another while the women in his life carried the weight of keeping the family functioning. When you put those two realities side by side, Kody's little dig doesn't just fall flat. It completely backfires. The internet reacted instantly. Reddit threads lit up like fireworks. But this wasn't just casual gossip. Viewers went in with surgical precision. One fan summed it up perfectly, pointing out that Kody was trying to talk down to a man who is objectively more successful in every measurable way. And that truth hit hard. Because when someone with no proven business success tries to belittle someone who actually builds things for a living, the irony is painful to watch. What makes this moment so delicious is the timing. Christine didn't just leave Kody. She thrived without him. She found real happiness with David, and now she's living openly, confidently, and unapologetically well. Kody isn't just watching his ex move on. He's watching her upgrade. That comment about David's job wasn't casual banter. It was a wounded man desperately trying to claw back a sense of superiority that no longer exists. People close to the situation have noticed the shift. Kody has reportedly grown more agitated as Christine continues to flourish. And in that moment, the mask slipped. Because when a man feels the need to diminish another man's honest work, it says everything about his own insecurities. Kody wanted viewers to look down on David. Instead, he accidentally put a spotlight on his own fragility. Construction builds homes. It creates communities. It produces something real. And that raises an uncomfortable question Kody clearly didn't want asked. What exactly has he built? Beyond resentment, fractured relationships, and a long list of failed ventures, the answer is painfully thin. Fans didn't stop at defending David. That single remark opened the floodgates to a full-scale examination of Kody's own work history. And what they found was brutal. When viewers started pulling receipts, any illusion of professional superiority collapsed almost instantly. Job hopping, short-lived ventures, no sustained success outside of a TV show built on the lives of others. One fan didn't mince words, saying Kody's sons have worked harder than he ever has. Harsh? Maybe. But disturbingly accurate. Before reality TV fame, Kody's work history was hardly impressive. Selling neon signs doesn't make you a business titan, no matter how confidently you wear a blazer. His current gun accessories venture isn't exactly funding luxury living either. Without TLC checks and the platform his wives helped create, Kody's financial picture would look very different. Fans have been quick to point out that he didn't build success. He benefited from a situation that made good television. Strip away the cameras, and the contrast becomes embarrassing. David built a company. Kody built a persona. And then came the detail that sent fans into hysterics. When Kody and Robin sold their home, viewers noticed tile spaces still sitting in an unfinished wall. For anyone who knows even the basics of construction, that's amateur hour. Those spaces are temporary, leaving them in screams incompetence. The irony was almost too perfect. The man mocking a construction professional couldn't even complete basic homework properly. Viewers immediately connected the dots. Over the years, homes associated with the family often showed signs of neglect. Repairs ignored. Maintenance delayed. Problems left for someone else. A man with real skills would have handled those issues without drama. Instead, they became visible evidence of neglect, potentially even costing money during sales. And this was the same man who thought he could look down on David's profession. But Kody's issues go far beyond DIY disasters. His obsession with being seen as the alpha male has become one of the most uncomfortable parts of his public unraveling. He postures. He performs. He declares authority without backing it up. One viewer described it perfectly, saying he causes drama while pretending to be tough. The outfits, the speeches, the confidence theater, none of it matches the resume. Even his attempt to prove toughness on a Special Forces-style show backfired spectacularly. The impression he left was not strength. It was vulnerability, insecurity, and someone painfully out of his depth. Experts in behavior patterns would call it classic overcompensation. Tear others down. Assert dominance. Avoid accountability. These aren't signs of confidence. They're warning lights. Christine, meanwhile, has reached a place that drives Kody absolutely mad. She no longer takes him seriously. That single shift has completely changed the power dynamic. For years, his words carried weight. Now they don't land at all. She doesn't defend. She doesn't react. She simply lives her life. And nothing is more threatening to an insecure person than indifference. David has quietly become something unexpected in the Sister Wives universe. A mirror. He doesn't brag. He doesn't posture. He shows up. He works. He parents. He calls things as they are. Fans love him because he says what viewers have been shouting at their screens for years. And as Christine and David continue to rewatch old footage and comment honestly, the discomfort for Kody is only going to grow. Then there's the money conversation. Because eventually, reality always shows up. David owns a real business with real clients. Kody sells accessories and relies on a TV show that won't last forever. Fans openly speculate that David likely earns significantly more, and that possibility seems to eat away at Kody's ego. When the cameras stop rolling, one man will still have a solid foundation. The other will have memories. That's what this was really about. Not construction. Not careers. Not casual commentary. It was about watching someone else become everything you wanted to be. Without the noise, without the drama, and without needing validation. At its core, this situation exposed two versions of manhood. One built on work, resilience, and quiet strength. The other built on image, control, and grievance. David doesn't need to prove anything. Kody feels the need to prove everything. Christine didn't need revenge. She didn't need to attack. She simply left, healed, and found happiness. And every time she smiles beside David, it delivers a message louder than any insult ever could. Some people grow when others succeed. Others just grow bitter. And viewers are watching, very closely, to see just how far that bitterness will go. The moment Kody Brown opened his mouth, you could feel it. That uncomfortable, bitter energy that hits when someone is trying very hard to sound superior but failing miserably. It wasn't loud. It wasn't aggressive. But it was sharp enough for viewers to catch instantly. In recent Sister Wives footage, Kody made a pointed remark about David Woolley's construction work, and the reaction online was immediate. Because that comment wasn't neutral. It wasn't casual. It was jealousy slipping through a forced smile. Let's be very clear about what just happened. Kody Brown attempted to look down on David Woolley by reducing his career to construction, as if that word alone was supposed to make viewers think less of him. But instead of making David look small, Kody accidentally exposed just how threatened he feels. Because when you strip away the tone and the passive aggression, what's left is a man watching his ex-wife thrive with someone who outclasses him in nearly every way. David Woolley doesn't just work in construction. He owns a successful business. He built it with his own hands. He raised 8 children on his own after devastating loss. He is respected, stable, and quietly confident. Meanwhile, Kody Brown has spent years jumping from one failed idea to another, leaning heavily on the women in his life while presenting himself as the family leader. That contrast is not subtle. And viewers noticed immediately. The internet did what it always does when hypocrisy shows up on screen. Fans flooded comment sections and forums, calling out the sheer nerve of Kody's remark. One viewer put it bluntly, saying Kody was trying to talk down to a man who is objectively more successful in every measurable way. And that statement hit hard because it's true. The irony of a man with no proven long-term business success mocking someone who actually builds things for a living is almost painful to watch. But here's where it gets even more uncomfortable for Kody. This didn't happen in a vacuum. Christine didn't just leave him. She leveled up. She found real happiness with David, and now she's living openly and confidently while Kody stews on the sidelines. That comment about David's job wasn't just shade. It was desperation. A wounded attempt to reclaim a sense of importance that slipped away the moment Christine stopped caring what he thought. People close to the situation have noticed the shift. Kody appears increasingly irritated as Christine continues to glow in her new life. And in that moment on camera, the mask slipped. Because when a man feels the need to belittle another man's honest work, it reveals far more about his own insecurity than the person he's targeting. Kody wanted viewers to think less of David. Instead, he showed the world exactly how small he feels. And this was only the beginning. Because that single comment opened the door to a brutal comparison Kody never wanted anyone to make.